Gareth Hewer is our referee today, one of the few part-timers making a name for himself in the upper ranks of refereeing. Phil Bentham will be a video referee if and when we need him. And boy, has this game got a lot to live up to after last night's semi-final, when we saw blood and thunder for 80 minutes. And Ashton Sims certainly starting with a bit of thunder in these early stages. So let's get the early thoughts from the two men alongside me, the two Johns, John Wilkin and John Keir.
Yeah, they'll be very happy with that, the Warrington Wolves there. Lovely little use of feet there to get his nose through the Wakefield defence, and wanting to be looking to look after the ball in this early part and end with a good kick a la Chris Sandow. But here's one of the real exciting players from Wakefield there, but he's just failed to get the kick out. And is that a 40-20?
I think it's a 40-20. There was a big cheer from the Warrington fans, which will increase now because it's given as a 40-20. John Wilkin.
Chris Sandow's renowned for that in world rugby. Right foot kick. He kicked early in the tackle count to catch the Wakefield winger up in the line. He executed it perfectly, didn't he? And what a great start for Warrington in this Challenge Cup semi-final. Chris Sandow is one of those players, comes up with game-breaking plays, and that's a huge play 1 minute into a Challenge Cup semi-final. Fantastic.
So Wakefield haven't touched the ball yet. I've got another set of 6 to defend here.
And this will test the metal, Dave. It really will, because
intense scrutiny here, isn't it?
Yeah, 15 metres away from your own line, a full set of 6 to defend. Welcome to semi-final rugby league.
There's a lot of muttering in the build-up to the game that this could be a one-sided game in Warrington's favour. Wakefield have upset the odds often enough this year to suggest they have got the fight and pedigree. But this is a big couple of tackles. Clark in at dummy half.
Hold on, Scott. Wait. Go.
Less than 10 away. Across he comes. Gidley. It's Curry who takes it in, but he's going to be put down. Wakefield's defence stands sound at the moment. Sandow with a little step back on the right foot, and here he comes. Liam Finn grabbing at him. Eventually they make the tackle complete. So they've survived 4. What about the next 2? Westerman driving, still just short. Clark there at dummy half again, back to Sandow on the 6, he's going for the pass. Curry puts the grubber kick in, it's overkicked. Wakefield fans behind, a roar of relief because they knew how important it was to survive that first set.
An encouraging start for Wakefield's defence. There's question marks over that defence. They've missed more tackles than anybody in this Super League season, but a great start with the defensive line. Really looked controlled and calm, didn't they, deal with Warrington?
It did, John, and also it's interesting to see they really worked Liam Finn over, so that will be a focus of the Warrington Wolves attack. Their left, Wakefield Tinch's right side defence.
Here's David Fafita, signing in the middle of the season. He's added a lot of grunt down the middle, hasn't he, since he arrived. There's Liam Finn, who has got Wembley experience, of course. Liam Finn played for Castleford in the 2015 final. His half-back partner here, Miller, similarly, he played for Hull in the 2013 final. Both the losers on their day.
Hands out, Scott! Back with me, Dave.
Ratchford's lost the ball. A referee, Mr. Hewer, says it was knocked on, and immediately Ashton Sims puts a finger in the air, says we've got a big minute of defence here. This is a real bonus for Wakefield.
Yes, they have, and this is Warrington's turn to answer the questions about the resolve. You see there, Stephen Ratchford, just loose. He's got a responsibility to look after that ball in the collision. It didn't do, so for me, Gareth Hewer got the decision exactly right, Joe.
And you look at this game, and before I came here today, I thought the only way that Wakefield would be a chance of winning is to take advantage of Warrington's errors. Usually expect those errors to come through flamboyant play, throwing the ball around. That's just a simple handling error in the ruck. I would say Scott Moore's hand was nervously close to the ball, but an opportunity for Wakefield to attack after a really positive start for them.
20 metres away. Good platform from which to build. Scott Moore goes right. Michael Seo. Moore again. He's going to have a little run out there, and Finn with the pass away. Miller, they've got the man isolated on the left-hand side. It's the opening try. The opening try. Craig Hall in to score. The referee gives it, and Wakefield have the dream start to this Ladbrokes Challenge Cup semi-final.
Well, what a fantastic try that was. That was Wakefield's first opportunity in a good ball situation, and they took full advantage there to release Craig Hall for that try down the left-hand side. This is the error from Ratchford. His responsibility there. It may feel hard done to there from Scott Moore, but Wakefield took full advantage. Great work by Moore, Finn. And then what a peach of a pass from Jacob Miller to Craig Hall, holding the chalk wide on the left.
And let's draw real attention to Scott Moore's dummy half play here. Draws in the Warrington defence. Great hands from Finn. Great hands by both the half-backs there, and a fantastic try. And that, playing with your smile on your face, expressing yourself, what we've been talking about, what I spoke about with Jacob Miller before the game, is clearly evident there.
It certainly is, yes. The crucial players 9, 7 and 6 instrumental in that try. A magnificent start for the Wakefield Trinity side.
So Liam Finn with a chance to add the 2. What a great story his is as well, isn't it? Featherstone Rovers, he was a real outstanding player in the Championship for year after year, given his chance when Darryl Powell signed him for Castleford, and these last 3 or 4 years in the Super League, he really has taken that opportunity. As we said, 1 Challenge Cup final to his name. Could he be helping his side to another here? That's a very good kick from the touchline. That's a terrific kick from the touchline. Finn's goal. Wakefield leads 6-0 here.
Well, if you want your nerves settling, that's the way to do it. Tremendous defence online, and then as soon as you get the opportunity, marvellous attacking play to release Craig Hall. There may well be a question mark about the forward pass there from the Warrington fans, but not from Gareth Hewer, who is the man who's most important to.
Well, just looking at those Wakefield fans now, I mean, there's been an element of disbelief about Wakefield's whole season, hasn't there? The way they climbed the table, everybody's favourites to finish rock bottom at the start of the year. They climbed the table under Chris Chester with some real eye-catching wins along the way, including against this side they're up against here. Beaten 18-0 against them last year in 1 game, but they rattled them a little earlier this year, 36-28 at Bellevue, which really underlined their pedigree.
John, do you feel that that's put some seeds of doubt in the Warrington Wolves side after 3 semi-final defeats on the bounce?
Yeah, 100%. And I think as a player, when you're going into a game where the weight of expectation on you, it's sometimes quite crippling, and that try can just release those feelings again. I think Scott Moore's been outstanding in this opening little spell. Really smart out of dummy half, and Wakefield have been really positive with the ball and playing with that enjoyment, that smile, and putting Warrington into bad spots, and Ratchford was here getting tackled 15 metres out of his line. He's not where he wants to be 6 minutes into a semi-final.
Evans offside against Wakefield, so it's a clearing penalty for Warrington here, which should see them starting their set now close to the halfway line.
Yeah, that's the first error, isn't it, from Wakefield? Defensively they'd been spot on till then, offensively similarly so, but that's just given Warrington easy yards up the pitch, so they've got a very good attacking set here, starting 40 metres out.
It's going to be Ryan Atkins, who was once a Wakefield player, of course. Now taken on by Chris Hill. So Warrington inexorably moving closer and closer here to this Wakefield line. Gidley across the line. Hughes plundering forward. Couldn't quite get the arm free. Ratchford was hunting just on the outside, but they get another penalty. Too much going on in the tackle.
This is where defences are tested. You know, pressure, a little bit of pressure doesn't do anything. Sustained pressure kills at this level, and big test for this Wakefield line.
That's Sims. Here's Clark. Gidley's gone wide to the right, but well read. But the Wakefield defence, they're being tested again here, but they so far are coming up trumps. This is just the start of it. There's plenty more to come. Sandell, Curry, Ratchford. Fafita's knocked the ball down, the referee says play on. Here comes Riesling to break away from the followers, just had his ankles tapped. The referee is going to call them back for a knock-on. 2 knock-ons.
Wakefield gone forward. Warrington head and feed.
Warrington's head and feed. So Riesling was getting all excited. We're all getting all excited, but it would have meant nothing anyway. 2 knock-ons, he's decided.
Yeah, but I believe that was a bit of assistance there from the touchers. Because if you see
Mike, your
Fafita,
comms
he
is
appears to
quiet.
play the ball.
Make sure you shout.
That's what the touch judge gave, because if not, that would have been a free play.
Yeah, Fafita knocked the ball on, didn't he? Had a swipe at it, the ball came out, and good instinctive response there from Riesling. Showed
Let's
his
get
pace.
together, fellas.
Unfortunately, comes back, but Warrington get the ball again. For people at home, watch the difference between Kurt Gidley and Sandow, the half-backs for Warrington. Gidley gets them around the park. Sandow will play off the back of Gidley's organisation skills, and the combination of those two is highlighted by Chris Chester before the game as maybe the best half-back pairing in the comp, and this is where you see it when you're attacking your opponent's line.
Sims solidly forward again.
Come on, back.
Clark out to Sandow. Sandow, the little ball back for Hughes. Right, second rower's position. Ratchford, Westerman, Hill's close, but not close enough. Westerman again, it's going to be slow here. Eventually it comes out, Westerman to Ratchford. Sandow again, dribbles it through. Where's this going? It's going dead. Johnson, Jowett rather, can just watch it dead. And it's a tap back on the 20-metre mark.
Well, you're just growing and growing and growing, this Wakefield Trinity side. Again, on their own line, 2 sets to defend it, and they look very, very comfortable, very assured and very confident.
It's a poor kick from Sandow, in my opinion. There, he needs to put it a lot shorter, give his chasers a chance to attack the ball, but again, good start for Wakefield without over-egging it. They started positively, they look confident, and as a coach, JK, you'd be happy with this start, wouldn't you?
You'd be, and you could see the belief growing, can't you, John? There really is. It's just growing and growing and growing.
Seo scrambles to his feet. Finn goes right for Anthony Tupou, who somehow got the ball away back to Lynn. Surely it was intentional. Finn steepling high. Miller will be hoping he was onside as he chases this. Evans, oh, he's knocked it on under pressure. Miller just leapt up in the... Oh, the referee says backwards. He says backwards.
Well, whether it was backwards or not, I'll tell you, it was a nasty ball to collect. It was spiralling, and that affected the flight of the ball. And obviously Jacob Miller went across his eye line there, Rhys Evans, and they will be a tad fortunate to get away with that.
Robbie Hunter-Paul, what do you think?
I'm just thinking Jacob Miller may have just given us some insight on what tactic should be used today. Twice Warrington have got down into Wakefield's in goal and tried to put the grubber kick through. Very short in goals at the Lee Sports Village, and maybe going to the air because the conditions are good for catches. There's not a lot of wind up there. Maybe going to the air will be the technique to use today.
Tackle 6, so Sandow puts it high, and James Bishop pouches it. Not scared to go inside to the young fullback Max Joey. He has played at Wembley before, Max Joey, in a schools final in year 7. And here's an opportunity for them to test again with Hall. As Nobby said, Ray Nobby was saying on his way to Toronto next year, the Toronto Wolfpack. Craig Hall. There's his defence. Anxious to keep Wakefield deep inside their own half if they can, but here's a man who really does carry a lot of threat, doesn't he, down the middle?
Tony Smith a bit concerned here, because for me, Wakefield are not renowned for being good at coming out of yardage. They seem to roll in this Warrington pack down the field, and as a result, putting Ratchford in positions he probably wouldn't like to be in.
This is Matty Russell. Tony Smith and Richard Agar alongside him. Head coach and first team coach together. They, like Hull now, still have a chance of winning a treble this year. Atkins is trying to offload but can't. Clark dashes in at dummy half and will have a run here. He might have suspected Riesling was off balance. Westerman. That's okay. Sandow. Curry. So here comes the last. Wakefield again close to their own line as Warrington look to apply the pressure again. Sandow's kick here, just lobbed high. Hall comes. Evans gets there. Just carries it forward as he gets a tip on it. And Wakefield survive again.
Yeah, they do, but as Robbie Hunter-Paul suggested there, that was a contested ball in the air. And although Rhys Evans didn't manage to claim that one, once it's in the air, it's 50-50, and it becomes more of a lottery than if it's put on the ground it tends to favour, if it's positioned correctly, the defensive players.
And kicking in the modern game is such an important facet. You can have a poor set, a terrible set, look unstructured, wander around the field, but you could put a good kick in with a great chase. It can really finish yourself nicely and get a good result.
Come back.
Well, they've lost a bit of yardage here, but Hall's kept it alive well enough.
Come on, back with me, wait.
Yeah, they've restricted the Wakefield side this set of 6 though in yardage of the Warrington Wolves.
That was needed, JK. They needed to really be aggressive on this Wakefield side, restrict the yardage, and they've done that.
We've got the doctor on the field.
Well, they've got a doctor on the field at the moment, so the referee is just going to hold things up just a minute whilst Toby King gets seen to. And there's one of the greats, Neil Fox, the record points holder in rugby league. We've trotted this line out before, but one of our mate Mick Morgan's favourite lines, 6,268 points in his career. So if you played for 20 years and you played 30 matches every year and you scored 10 points in every single match you played, you'd still be 200 and odd points behind Neil Fox's record.
Yeah, wasn't a bad player, was he?
And that was three-point tries. I know he kicked a lot of goals, but those were 3-point tries as well.
I'm some way off that, I'm some way.
Here comes Evans, the Welshman, running it back.
Go on, back. Mikey, back.
Ratchford.
Go.
And now Sims.
Liam, release.
Darryl Clark stands at dummy half. Warrington trailing here, but just by the 6. They know they can turn the momentum of this game around in the flickering of an eye. Ratchford again. Driven in by Hill.
Movement, Nick.
Still tackles in the bag, a couple of tackles to go. Gidley out on that right-hand side. Hughes is trying to force his way over. He's over the line, but I think he's going to be held up. The referee is asking a question here, I think. Yes, he is.
We've got a try.
He thinks it's a try on the field,
please, tackle
but we have to find out from the video referee. So let's hear for the first time today from Phil Bentham.
Grounding check, guys.
Grounding, please.
Yeah, that's great, thank you. Yeah, looks like the ball's down there.
Where's the ends?
Yeah, let's just keep looking at that. There we go, the ball's on the ground. Just take it back one frame. So we can see the ball, there we go, it's on the ground. Confirm the referee's decision of a try.
So Jack Hughes hasn't been involved in any of Warrington's recent heartbreaks. New to the side this year, and he gets his side's first try.
Yeah, fantastic principles of play there by Gidley. He played short to a lead runner, and he knew he was going to play on to get at Miller. You see Miller, number 6. It's not renowned for his defensive strength. You put a big man, Jack Hughes, on Jacob Miller. That smart half-back play by Kurt Gidley. He knew that was going to be a one-on-one situation. Potential for a quick ruck, but near the line you're looking to put a try-scoring play on, and that's the instinctive and smart half-back play that Gidley has brought to this side. You know, when Lee Breers left Warrington, there was a void in that side, and I believe Kurt Gidley's brought that back. The game smarts, game intelligence.
Well, he's got the chance to add the 2 here and show us what a good goal kicker he is. That's not a problem. We're all square. 6 points apiece in what is boiling into a very nice semi-final at the moment.
Yeah, John Wilkins called it exactly right there. Look how he took the ball to the line. It's isolated, big man v small man. But for me, there's enough Wakefield defenders there to make a better effort than that. Get underneath the ball to prevent the grounding. But the other thing as well, John, that was the reward for Warrington's best defensive set against Wakefield yardage.
They were aggressive, and they got the ball back in the right part of the field. You're right about the defensive line. You know, Miller needs help. When you've got a defender like Jacob Miller next to you as a back rower, you're dying to go and help him.
So Ashton Sims will bring it back. What news from the touchline? George Riley.
Just an injury update on Toby King, who you saw there was a stoppage in play. They've checked him out. It was a a smash to the jaw. They had a look to see if it was broken or perhaps dislocated, and they're fine that he's okay. He's a big boy. He's still out there. He'll carry on.
And Robbie, you've got something to tell us as well?
Oh, just a worrying sign for Wakefield at this point in time. David Fafita was brought off only after 30 minutes. I think we're starting to see that energy battle in the middle of the park that Ashton Sims was talking about pre-match taking its toll.
It was interesting as well there that Warrington went back to their stable playing yardage, scooting out a dummy half, playing quick.
You're in trouble against Warrington when Darrell Clark's busy, isn't he? And a bit quiet in the first 10 minutes or so, but really coming into the game now, running out of dummy half, and that's what he was brought here to do.
Really found his feet this season, hasn't he, Darrell Clark? After a year of settling in, after his stellar year with Castleford when he was Man of Steel and a Challenge Cup finally. Sandow now with a little scamper and a run. But he's nailed, put down. Atkins waits a dummy half. Sims on the inside, readying himself for a big urge, but in fact he's gone right to Westerman, and now it's Gidley, and Gidley offers it back for Hughes, who's after another. But he's dragged down, and it's going to be a penalty here. Just had his feet pulled as he was getting up to play the ball, had his feet pulled.
Yeah, well, that's the pressure Wakefield are feeling at the minute. Warrington, the momentum's really shifted there towards Warrington. And Kurt Gidley, Tony Smith's coach sides are renowned for going for the tries, but I think Kurt Gidley's made an on-field decision there. We're in a semi-final, we're in a knockout. He wants to get to Wembley.
Yeah, Gidley wasn't looking to the bench for anything there, was he? A good carry from Jack Hughes. Scott Moore was clinging on for dear life. You know, that situation, if you let Jack Hughes play the ball quickly, it's more than likely going to be a try. Scott Moore made the decision to hold on, but it's going to possibly cost his side 2 points. You'd expect Gidley would slot this over with no worries at all.
Just turned 34 just over a month ago, Kurt Gidley, and rugby league is full of family ties, isn't it? And he's got a family story in the Challenge Cup. His brother Matt played for St Helens in the 2007 and 2008 Cup finals. A teammate of yours, John Wilson.
Yeah, great bloke. I mean, a legendary centre of the game. Did things at St Helens that, you know, just opened my eyes, and we had a couple of beers with Kurt a few times when he came over, and a great lad who's relishing being in this country, and you can see that in the way he's playing.
So this for Warrington to take the lead for the first time in this contest. 19 minutes played, and over it goes. I don't think there's any real doubt in that. And 8 points to 6. Warrington now lead Wakefield.
Yeah, they really have come back into the game, the Warrington Wolves. You could say the first 10 minutes were Wakefield's, but the last 10 minutes have really been Warrington's, and they've speeded the game up. They've got field position, and they've just dominated possession and territory and tempo of the game, John.
Yeah, speed of the game's so important, isn't it? As a coach and as a player, you try and understand the importance of it. Warrington have just got the better side of that, haven't they, the last 10 minutes?
Send out pouches. Hill will do the hard stuff. We want to get back at that chasing Wakefield pack. Here comes Matty Russell. Where's the number 5? Plays on the wing, but equally at home, you'd suggest at fullback as well. Matty Russell, Ratchford, equally at home anywhere in the three-quarter line.
It's those dummy half runs, though, Dave, look. 3 on the bounce, and they're already cleared the 40-metre line.
Warrington know it's coming, they flatten up. Darrell Clark's in at dummy half, they flatten up, everyone flattens up around him, and that's smart play.
Here comes Curry. One of the bright young things of rugby league at the moment. Ben Curry, big things expected of him. He's already delivering a lot of them. It's a kick that will bounce nicely for Jarrett. And a good chase by Sandow. Finn. Ben Jones-Bishop.
I think there's a bit of energy drain from the Wakefield Trinity side in the minute. They're having to go wide in their own red zone.
Hall's done well there, hasn't he, getting that away? But Ingles wrapped up. There's a big Hull theme running through this Wakefield side as well. Hull waiting the winners here in the final. You look at the likes of Arundel and Lynn and Hall and Miller. Had spells at Hull. Scruton in the front row as well. Finn will kick the ball away, but Ratchford's well placed.
That's the problem when you kick on last tackle. Your back 3 is in your wing, 2 wingers and your fullback get a good look at the kick. Very difficult to find grass, and Finn did his best there.
Jason, come on back. Hold it, he's underneath. Go.
Skip and a jump by Russell.
Neck release.
Sandow just saunters into position again. And Evans will lead the drive forward again. So the outside backs doing their job here in this set so far. Here comes Atkins. Twice a Wembley winner with Warrington. Sandow puts the grubber kick in. It should be and is covered by Jowett, but that's what is nailed. And that's not a bad place to finish your set. But you don't want to give away a penalty.
That's relief for Wakefield, lads. It really is. They've been on the back foot for the last 12 minutes or so. And that soft first tackle penalty there will allow to get some territory, but more importantly, I think, looking at them off camera, to get some oxygen in the lungs. They really are feeling it at the minute, but there it was, a second effort from Russell, and just allows this stoppage in play where they can just draw breath once again and regroup and attempt to get back into the game.
I think it was the wrong decision from Sandow to kick the ball early in the tackle count. Fantastic piece of full-back play by Jowett, though, for a young guy in the right position to collect that kick, and a real pressure reliever, that one, isn't it?
Here's Miller. Oh, well met by Toby King. Wakefield struggling to find distance downfield at the moment. Well, the ball has come loose. It's dropped. The referee decides. There's an element of an educated guess about that decision, isn't there? But
well, I'll credit to Gareth here. It looked straight across at his touch, Judge, and it was him who gave that he'd lost the ball. And you can see from the replays, both touch judge and referee worked in cohesion and came up with the right decision.
I think we can hear from George Riley again. George?
Well, what Wakefield would do for a fully fit Danny Kermond out there, I can tell you he's just gone for his first warm-up on the bench today. It was very brief. One sprint up the touchline, one sprint back. He gave me the thumbs up, but I've got to say he doesn't look fit. And from speaking to a lot of the players beforehand, I'd be amazed if he played more than 15 minutes today.
If he was fit, he'd be starting, wouldn't he? There's no doubt about that, because he's such an important facet to that Wakefield side, who are under pressure at the moment. Warrington building it again. 8-6 they lead, but a suggestion of more to come just at the moment. Atkins. 4 more tackles to go. Here's Clark. Westerman away, inside ball from Gidley to Sandow. Well read by Wakefield. They are just about stemming the flow at the moment, but Clark goes away, and Darryl Clark out of dummy half, sashaying a little too easily past the Wakefield defenders, and Warrington are building something now.
Yeah, and as we've alluded to, they're building things on the back of speed of ruck. They really are playing the ball very quickly. They've gone very direct. They've thrown out the shift shapes. They've gone direct, and they've gone for speed of ruck, and it certainly is paying off at this moment in time.
Warrington topped the tables this year on a couple of things. One is dummy half runs, and we've seen that rise to prominence in the last few minutes. Obviously, the drop ball here from Jowett was a big error for Wakefield. It invited the pressure off the back of that. Clark runs out of dummy half. One of those stats, dummy half runs, but crucially this time to score a try.
Yeah, once again, the line wasn't set though. The line's not set. You can see there, the 21 Jowett was retreating still when Clark's crossing the line. So it's just too quick. They cannot get set at marker. They can't get the defensive line set, so they can't get off the line and take space.
Great vision from Darryl Clark, and exactly grown into himself in this Warrington team, hasn't he? And certainly in his first year struggled. We weren't seeing a lot of dummy half running from him, which was ironic because he was brought from Castleford to do that. Really come into his own, running effectively out of dummy half, making breaks, and more importantly, scoring points for his team.
So here's Gidley again. Picture of concentration. 2 successes so far, this to make it 3 out of 3.
Time on.
Touch judges take a look, and up go the flags in unison to confirm that Warrington now lead by 14 points to 6.
Yeah, and the full value for it, in all honesty, And here's Clark taking full advantage there. You see Scrum can't get off the line. He's picked a big man with space around him, which we felt that Sando would do well. Clark's done it equally as well. Got his nose to the defensive line, and through he goes.
Warning signs are here, aren't they? The warning signs are here for Wakefield. They need something here.
Here's Hill.
They need a Warrington error or something to hunt the job.
It can be anything. In a game like this, you're looking for one of your players to do something special. You're looking for the referee to maybe play you back into the game. But what you do is you need the ball and you need possession, territory, and all these things, these words that define a good performance. And apart from that start, they really haven't. We see 65-35 possession, 71-29 territory. They're powerful stats in the semi-final.
And couple that with dummy half runs. 12 from Warrington.
There's another from Clark that was just threatening to get Ratchford on his way. Last play in the set here. Gidley puts it behind the line. Job to do for Hall in the in-goal area. Can't get out. Drop out underneath the sticks. Warrington are turning the screw tighter and tighter at the moment. Wakefield fans, listen to them. They're up on their feet behind the sticks. They know their side need a semi-final lift, and they've all got up there, man, woman and child, to shout out the name of their heroes, because they know this is another massive set of six coming up here now.
It's a great atmosphere, isn't it, Dave? It really is. Packed stadium, full of noise, full of colour, vibrancy, and some great stuff out on the field of play, especially from the Warrington Wolves.
We have Scott, Hall, wait, but Dave, go.
Here's Clark, Gidley, Hill, Sandow. Great hands, that is it. Chris Hill. Lovely player. Here's Curry. Atkins stepping inside. Clark wants to get on with it here. Gets the ball played. Gidley along to Hill again. Sandow puts it back. Hughes over the top. Evans walks in that right corner. Warrington have their third successive try without response, without meaningful response from Wakefield, and they are taking this cup tie by the scruff of the neck.
That left edge, Wakefield's left edge in defence, marshalled by Jacob Miller. He's having a tough day. That's 3 tries they've conceded. Warrington are setting up on this side of the field to go back at them all day. You can see here Chris Hill wanted the ball out the back early to Sandow, to Jack Hughes. Jack Hughes for a back rower to throw that ball's fantastic piece of skill. Both Warrington back rowers can do this, and it's a different threat than most teams offer. But great play, great ball.
And a great finish. Yeah, really was an outstanding try. We spoke about wanting to be more direct, but they're being direct to earn the right then to shift wide, and that's exactly what they did. They've got more numbers than Wakefield and executed it perfectly to get them on the outside. Rhys Evans going over in the corner.
He's a great story, Rhys Evans, isn't he? Him and his brother Ben Evans caught the Rugby League eye when they were playing in a curtain raiser to the 2005 Cup final in Cardiff with the Brinteg Comprehensive School. Warrington signed them up, they moved north, and boy has that been a great move. And that day Hull won the Cup. This year maybe Rhys Evans is going back to play against Hull in a Challenge Cup final. By the way, if anybody's picked up any colourful language pitchside with our very sensitive microphones, we do apologise. It's not come from up here, at least we don't think so. There's the kick that just goes wide. So 18 points to 6. Warrington lead.
Interesting thing about this is Warrington have gone through Wakefield, so they've punched through them. Jack Hughes scored a try. They've gone through Wakefield again with Darryl Clark, and Wakefield, as a result, have tightened up, been more aggressive. We've got to deal with that threat. And then what do Warrington do? Throw the long ball, go around them, and the toying with the Wakefield defensive line on that left-hand side. Miller and Craig Hall are going to have a tough day. You can tell, sense it.
I would suggest for the last 18 minutes it's been near perfect semi-final rugby league from the Warrington Wolves side.
What do you do as a coach here to get your team out this rut?
Your team's got to defend this set of 6, the big one, John, to defend this and actually get the ball in hand and just come up with a positive end after that.
By the way, look at the tackles there. Wakefield have made 63 to Warrington's 35.
Move! Back, Jacob!
Yep, That's burning energy. That's all Wakefield are doing here. The body language is not great. They're making too many tackles. The ruck's too quick. You put all the possession stats, territory stats in amongst it as well, and it's not a pretty picture it's painted.
Here's Curry. Sixth tackle coming up here, so Sandow will just look for the touchline again, or at least put it right in the corner there and make it difficult. Jowett picks it up, and look at the job he's got ahead of him. Sandow's leading the chase. I think he might have tried to steal the ball there in the tackle, but anyway, he's made the tackle, and Wakefield have to do all this hard labour from inside their own 10 metres again.
I would suggest, Dave, he doesn't want to put it over the sideline. Sandow wants the ball in play. It's Warrington with all the energy. It's Wakefield struggling to get back behind the ball. They need the ball in play, the Warrington Wolves.
Robbie Hunter-Paul.
Well, the most worrisome sign for Wakefield at this point in time is the amount of yardage that Warrington's getting up the field. After the Clark try, they went 90 metres before they got the kick in.
Here's a chance now.
Oh, we've just had a break from Walton.
Suddenly the break is on now, but it's going to be stopped. Walton gets the ball away, but this is exactly what Wakefield needed. Miller's up there at dummy half. Finn chimes in as well.
Oh, no.
It's Wisey kicked, and Rashford saves it out.
Well, that's just naivety, that, from the young player. All they need to do when they bust the line like that, just play at the space. And all it needs to do is go through their hands, and there was gaps aplenty on the right-hand side.
There was plenty of holes in that Warrington defensive line. They were unstructured and organised. Yeah, the wrong kick there from Jowett, the young fullback, but what a great piece of play from Scott Moore to put Walton through a gap. Is the key to unlocking this Warrington team. You'd think Scott Moore in the middle of the field, some of that instinctive play around dummy half.
Sandow just threatening the kick, and now Evans on that right-hand side. Sandow straight at Jowett. Awkward bounce. Ben Jones-Bishop. Well marshalled. So we're going to see an interchange made here by Wakefield, and significant because Danny Kerman, you can see there, is coming on for the very first time 9 minutes before the break. So we had 9 minutes and then get a breather, and then a bit more maybe. Play on. Came off the ankle. Oh, that was a forward pass. So Danny Kerman's first effort is plunging to take that forward pass from Scott Moore. And it's just given possession back to Warrington again.
I think there's an element of fatigue in that as well. I mean, Scott Moore's been out there from minute one, and it was a tired decision and a tired pass, it really was.
Yeah, poor kick there from Jowett, wasn't it? And that's a momentum killer, because Chester saw it. He felt that the side's momentum was with him, and that's disappointing for a coach. But Wakefield, I believe, through Scott Moore, have got something in the middle of the field that can challenge Warrington. The issue is getting enough possession, getting the ball in the right parts of the field to really put Warrington's defensive line under pressure. Tony Smith will be really happy with this last 25 minutes that his side's put together.
Definitely, and for me, the best way of diffusing Scott Moore, John, would be to keep hammering this middle channel, keep Scott Moore defending, keep him working in defence. It'll take the edge off his attacking play.
Tire him out, yeah.
That's Jason, move!
Hughes.
He's a cracking player, is Jack Hughes. A cracking player.
He was at Wigan, wasn't he? And then a year at Huddersfield. Benny Westwood, veteran of 3 Challenge Cup finals with Warrington. Long time at Warrington, and he started his career at Wakefield. That was a long time ago, wasn't it? This is good pressure again here from Warrington. Clark, Gidley, Westerman has a look and puts it flat to Ryan Bailey, who's on the bench, off the bench as well. Big dummy by Westerman, and the kick pings off shins. Moore tries to get to it. Still the 6th tackle, not played out. The referee decides. So Hughes tries the kick, and it's going to be picked up and saved by Wakefield, and they get a penalty as well. So a chance to clear their lines. Robbie Hunter-Paul.
You know, here's a great opportunity for Wakefield. I think what they need to do, they're losing the battle, the energy battle in the middle of the park. What they need to do is make the game ugly, slow it down, game management, kick the ball out, walk to scrums, slow the game right down and dictate the pace of this game, because at the moment, Warrington are marching them up the field and drawing too much energy out of them.
And George?
Well, fascinating to see Danny Kerman come on. We said it might not be more than 15 minutes for him. Well, there's 50 minutes to go, but it is one of those free interchanges. Jordan Crowther took a headshot. Ryan Atkins, fair play to the Warrington centre, saw it straight away, beckoned to the referee in the middle of the pitch to say it's a head injury, and he's gone down the tunnel to be assessed.
Here's Finn at the juggle. Lots coming up in this game yet, but after the game is finished, of course, you can join us in the forum. It's on the website today, by the way, not the red button, it's on the website, the Rugby League Forum, and you can get in touch in the usual manner on social media, hashtag BBCRL. And the final, August the 27th, of course. Holler there, Warrington look as though they might be, but Wakefield have still got a big say in this contest. 6 minutes of this half to go, and another injury here for Wakefield.
Miller kicked the ball, nice delicate little kick down the short side. He felt as though he was hit late. He stayed down, I'm sure he's fine here, but he's trying to suggest to the referee that there was a late and illegal contact on him. I don't believe there was. I think it was just competition, pure competition to put him under some pressure. Jack Hughes.
Shoulder.
Yeah, I mean, when you slow them down, they look bad. As a player on the field, you probably think there's not much in that.
But it is a shoulder.
It is a shoulder charge, yeah, without doubt. But
I think with the assistance of the replays, perhaps, I think the match officials will...
And as a player, when you're involved in that, you protest your innocence. You can't understand what the fuss is about.
Think about what we're doing.
Once upon a time, a couple of years ago, we'd have gone, wow! And now it's illegal to do that, isn't it? Use the shoulder in such a manner.
It's exciting, though.
It is exciting. It's a penalty. So, a chance for Wakefield to apply some pressure here. Well, a new suggestion here, they need to score before half-time.
Well, they've stopped the momentum of the game, haven't they? They've done what Robbie Hunter-Paul called playing ugly. They've had a stop-start bit, got a bit of good field position now. If they scored just before half-time, going 18-12, I'm certain after the battering they've taken from minute 10 to minute 34, they'll be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, you've got to be pleased with that. Let's see what they come up with this set. It's a big set for Wakefield.
Here comes Moore, throws it left, and Finn's involved again now, and Miller goes for the long pass, but it's taken its time to get there, so when Hall picks it up, they're ready. They're across, they're waiting. So Wakefield start again, looking for a way through. It's not the way to do it. Moore. The Feeters lining himself up, but he goes down that blind side, the short pass, which taken it by Arona. Moore, Finn, oh, it's a difficult one because Warrington are advancing quickly. The referee says play on, it's still the sixth tackle, desperately away, and James Bishop can't get it in, but did Ratchford deflect that away? No, he didn't. No, he didn't. Touch judge was right there, and it's Warrington who get the handover.
Well, there's a great urgency in the defensive effort there of the Warrington Wolves. The winger jammed in, the full-backs round the back to tidy anything up. I think Gareth Hewitt came up with the correct decision, and again you can see the meters there, and the early tackle meters as well that the back three are responsible for.
They're astonishing statistics to look at those. It just shows you the effectiveness of Warrington running out of dummy half. Matty Russell, Stephen Ratchford, who we see here getting into dummy half, Darryl Clark have all been really effective in that position, and it's troubled Wakefield all day.
Hughes just inside Wakefield territory again. Westerman and now Bailey. Ryan Bailey, Challenge Cup winner with Leeds back in 2014. 6 times a grand final winner with Leeds, and the kick is efficient, and it means that Wakefield have got all that hard work to do again here. Scrum, head and feet, they will get the ball, but they've got 90 yards to get it downfield if they can.
I think that's an indication that Warrington really are happy with their first 40 minutes work. They put the ball into the corner, over the sideline, walk into the scrum, so they can get a set defensive line to restrict the Wakefield yardage set. And I'm certain Warrington will be happy at 18-6 as well, John.
And that's the message Tony Smith sending on there. Great kick, great game plan, put the ball into corners, make the game structured. Robbie Paul's really smart to say an unstructured, messy game would suit Wakefield. Structured stuff like this, set starts, is not where Wakefield are going to break Warrington down, and they need something different to Wakefield.
Move! Let's hold, wait.
Scotty Moore.
Go.
Here's Finn. Kermond. Dragging his body
Second, then move.
into this semi-final and hoping to drag it as far as he can through this semi-final. His team needs him, but that's untidy. That's untidy again, and the pats on the back from Warrington, because they know they've got the ball back, and they know that again they're going to start a set in a very attacking position here.
Yeah, this is the reward for line speed, isn't it? Ben Westwood leading. Scotty Moore's trying a moving dummy half play to engage the markers, to make the markers interested before he placed the first receiver. But Westwood read that very well, and his line speed forced the error.
Fafita wanted the ball early, no doubt. You could see by no certain terms he told Scott Moore that after he'd passed him the ball. But Scott's an instinctive dummy half. He's had a good game. Obviously fatigued now, but
Come on,
you know, a fantastic player in the middle of the field. Fafita, big, powerful guy, but we're going to test their defensive prowess now, not what they can do with the ball. And that's where Wakefield have been scrutinised so far.
Westerman, and Fafita clatters him. He doesn't want to keep hold of it.
Move! Hold, wait.
A cameo battle going on there. Clark goes out from dummy half. Gidley's there again. Gidley over the line as he touched it down. Jack Hughes skips in delight. The referee isn't sure. What's he going to give on the field?
Try.
He says try on the field. I don't think David Fafita agrees with that. But what about the video referee, more importantly? Phil Bentham again.
A grounding check again, please. Just make sure when Gidley gets over the line here that he puts the ball down on the ground. Initially there it looks as if it's still up. Does he get the ball down? He's still moving, so that's okay. He's at every opportunity to get it down, and his hand's still on the ball there at the top, which provides downward pressure. If we could just go back to that shot, please, with the hand on top of the ball. Yeah. Just there. That's Gidley's hand on top of the ball, and the ball's on the line. Confirm the referee's decision of a try.
Well, we saw one last night from Gareth Ellis that was millimetres short. And I think that was just about millimetres okay. That's the judgment.
Yeah, try's been given. You've got to admire Kurt Gidley's attacking prowess here. The way in which he's toyed with the Wakefield's left edge defence. Focused on Jacob Miller, but they've beat them in every which way they could on that side. You know, they've beat them through power, through hitting a strong running line at Jacob Miller. They beat them through dummy half running. They beat them through playing through the back row early. And finally now, Gidley's spotted an opportunity, dropped his shoulder and forced his way over the line. It's a really mixed bag, fantastic mixed bag of attack from Kurt Gidley, who's the most experienced player on the field with the ball.
His kicking has been pretty good so far, just the one miss. This one to give Warrington a terrific advantage at half-time. Possibly 1 foot in a Wembley final already. 24 points to 6. How big is Wakefield to respond? Can they go back to the well at half-time and find some inspiration to claw their way back into this semi-final? Let's hear from the man of the moment, Kurt Gidley, who's with George.
Kurt Gidley, do you feel firmly in control of this cup tie now?
Yeah, I mean, it didn't get off to a great start with them scoring first and got stripped there a bit short, but I thought we responded really well off that. I think our completion rate's up there, I think, and defensively after that first try, pretty good.
And all of your points have come down the same right-hand channel. Was that pre-planned?
No, it wasn't. I mean, me and Chrissy, our job's to get our eyes up and count the numbers, but I just think our forwards have been doing a great job in yardage.
OK, Kurt, thank you. Scott Moore is here as well. Brilliant start, but you barely had the ball since.
Yeah, exactly. We just get smashed through the middle, the ruck's too quick, and it's played dividends really. They're making a bit down our right-hand side, left-hand side even.
Do you feel like the game's gone?
No, it's not gone at all. We just need to fix our middle up and tighten up and win some rucks really. And I think the game will shift a bit. That's the main thing. It's stop the penalties as well.
I'll let you get in there. Thanks, Scott.
Well, as George said there, Wakefield have barely had the ball since that opening try, and maybe the stats back that up. 66% possession for Warrington. They've dominated the territory as well, and Wakefield have had to make nearly 30 more tackles than the side who are leading. Jamie Peacock, Dennis Betts and Brian Noble are with me. What would you say, Dennis? Ruthless from Warrington, is that how you describe it?
Oh, definitely, yeah. What they've done is they've set a game plan. I think Scott Moore said it right there. They've gone after their middles, they've hit them hard, they've moved them around, and they've come back at them again. They've lost that battle from dummy half runs. Matty Russell, Evans on the wings, just getting them rolling forward. Chris Hill then punching a big hole in him, and then they capitalised on field position. The field position's come from some fantastic kicking game from Sandow. I thought Sandow just started the game off really well. 40-20 with his first kick, and then he's put them in the corners and made it hard for Wakefield to play the game.
Whereas last night we had all the blood and thunder and that real intensity. It's felt very calm and controlled from one of these two sides after the first 5 or 10 minutes.
Well, I think it's a physical mismatch. What Dennis has alluded to there with all the tactical things that are going well for Warrington is that right across the park, they're too big, too fast, too strong, Warrington, and that enables you to play and to control the game in that manner that you're talking about, Mark. So Sandow is very rarely under pressure when he kicks the ball. Gidley is very rarely under pressure when he kicks the ball. It gives the facility for Clark and for Russell and for Ratchford to apply their training around the middle and pick off the remnants of big blokes with Scruton and Fafita in and around the middle. So physically they're dominant, and that enables them to be tactically dominant.
And yet, Jamie, they didn't get off to a very good start, Warrington, and it was one of their errors that let Wakefield in.
Yeah, I think Wakefield, the first 5 minutes was well for Wakefield, but apart from that, they've not been in the game. But we saw an early error from Warrington as Ratchford is a judge who spilled the ball there, but it could be felt hard done to. And then we see a wonderful play from Wakefield. Scott Moore, great dummy half play, gets out and draws in Chris Hill. And that cascades so that every Warrington player has to come in and leave Jacob Miller, who has to execute a wonderful piece of skill at the end to score a try. But it's a fantastic try from Warrington, all created at first by the dummy half run from Scott Moore, then a wonderful, wonderful pass at the end.
I think it shows a lot of inexperience on this right edge. Toby King's a young player. He's a step off there. It's early game, he's not got off the line as hard, his nose has been stripped. He's got to go off the line and shut that ball down a lot quicker. It's a fantastic pass that creates a space for Hall to score. But I think James right, Scott Moore there he bets people to buy it. There's a couple of good passes in that skill. But I think Toby King can be another step up in the line and shut that down if he's on the game.
See, from a fan's point of view at that stage, you think, oh no, here we go. It doesn't matter what team you support, in what sport. As a fan, you think, oh no, here we go again.
Why are you not a Wakefield supporter? Is that why you did that?
Well, no, they don't try and dob me in on who I support and who I don't. But when you're in the game and professional, that you don't have that thought, do you?
They score early, they've got a great start. We talked about Wakefield's start, but from then on in, unfortunately, they couldn't back that effort up. They couldn't find a... You have to be smart when you're outgunned, and they are outgunned. That's not a discrediting thing to say about Wakefield. It's a tactical fact today that they needed to find another way to get forward. And their next sets, when they're trying to get out of their own half, they were beaten up basically and couldn't find the throw, couldn't find a quick ball, and couldn't get into the arm wrestle. So Warrington became more and more confident in what they were doing, and it was only a matter of time, maybe 15-20 minutes into the game, when you thought Warrington were going to break the bank open. There is a way back for Wakefield, so the hope that you're talking about is absolutely there, but they do need to get to the other part of the field, because with Scott Moore there and Miller and Finn, they are liable to create opportunities for themselves. But the challenge is finding a way, either dummy half running, finding the floor, being smart, surrendering to get to the other end of the field.
Let's go through the Warrington tries then, starting with the Jack Hughes one. Jamie.
Yeah, we see a poor kick first of all from Wakefield. In finals, in semi-finals you have to kick well. It's great pressure from Ryan Atkins that gives Warrington field position, and off the back of that you're going to see Kurt Gidley. He's just smart. He talked to Jack Hughes there, puts Jack Hughes, his big man, on the smaller man of Jacob Miller. You'd like to see Miller, once he's made contact, stop the ball there. There's 3 Warrington players, Wakefield players there. They need to stop the ball. It's a semi-final. You need a bit more desperation than that. and they'll be disappointed with that kind of defence.
You'd be disappointed if you're a Wakefield defender there, because he's got 4 bodies. Jamie spoke at the top of the show about, last night, about getting coloured jerseys in the frame to make an effort. We saw Hull with 4 black jerseys done to every breakdown. Miller actually half stops Hughes there. He's a big boy. He takes some stops. He deserves some help from the people around him before getting that ball down.
You'd be disappointed that many white shirts around Hughes. It's a disappointing try to concede, I know. And to be fair, Miller's done a decent enough job. He's a big man. He's slowed him down. He's turned into a bit of a speed bump, which halfbacks can be now and again. So he's slowed him down enough, but he's got to have people there coming in and helping him out.
We talked about how Gidley and Sandow would move Warrington round the field, but Clark has moved them round the field as well. He's really come into this game.
I think Darryl Clark's been exceptional in the game, but I think he owes a favour to all his forwards by how hard they've been running. Anytime there's a marker down, Darryl Clark's going to run, but the only way you get markers down is by your forwards running hard and landing on the front. And you can see that because they've made twice as many metres as Wakefield have with Warrington, over 700, and he loves it. He absolutely loves it.
They're the best dummy half running side in the competition. Both their wingers, their centres, their full-back and Clark play on the back of the fact that they're big men as well. Hill, Sims, Westwood getting quick play the balls, and Clark is one of the best exponents of that space. And I think what they've done really well is they've put them under pressure.
You can see as a look here, he's a smart player as well as an athletic one. Understands he's a big man, isolated a little bit in space, Nick Scruton, and gets round him, uses his lack of agility, and uses his pace, punishes him with his pace.
Panics, doesn't it? Because Clark has seen so much space. It's a great picture from our technical people there about what he's seen. He's seen the first hole. Scruton's seen that first hole and thought, I better go fill that. And then Clark's so good at running out of the way. He's run round Scruton, who's coming this way. An easier task for him. Brilliant.
The credit in that whole piece has got to go from the fact of the tactics and that. Because Scruton's had to do, he's been involved in 4 of the 6 tackles leading up to that point. So is Fafita, so is Moore. All of a sudden, those spaces, when you've made a couple of tackles, those spaces aren't a metre anymore. They seem like they're 6 metres, 7 metres as a big man. And that's what they've done. They've worked him over there.
Let's go through the last 2 Warrington tries, which might have put them out of reach. I'll ask you whether I think they are out of reach, Jamie, a bit later. But as far as the tries are concerned,
we see Evans score a try here, but it's all down, I think, the forwards running right to the line, Sandow right to the line, and a wonderful ball. Another wonderful ball. We've had 2 in 1 half, and this is from a back rower. He's had a great game, Jack Hughes, run over the top of Miller, then provides a try at the end. Then we see Gidley take the line on, just too strong for the Wakefield defenders. And that's off the back of having pressure, building pressure, making them make more and more tackles on their try line.
Gidley said to George at half-time that they haven't targeted that they hadn't talked pre-match about targeting Wakefield's left. Does it look like they have, though?
No, that's just the way that...
Just the way the game's gone.
It's just the way they'll dummy half on you to death. I think they've been after Scruton. They've definitely been after Fajita. When you're watching the game, they're picking him out. He's actually pointing him up, saying, come on, come on, come on. But he isn't winning that battle. I think it's a bit of bravado from him. And they've got their middle, they've got the quick play the balls, and that's been able them to get on the front foot. So when the ball goes to Gidley, he's got some space. He can throw the pass that he wants to throw. The back rower can get time on the ball and pick the line that he wants to pick. All coming through finding that middle unit.
All right, for the moment, thank you very much. So it's looking, at the moment, like a whole Warrington Challenge Cup final, be at the end of August. Now, throughout this year, the Songs of Praise team have been working with the clubs who play in rugby league up and down the country to form a choir of fans who are going to sing Abide With Me, that legendary anthem, before the Challenge Cup final. Now, everybody has now been nominated and chosen. If you want to see the full list, it's on the Songs of Praise website, and one of them is Phyllis Thorman, who was nominated by York City Knights.
It's a hymn about giving strength through trials in your life, through troubles in your life, and just to keep you going. And if you watch the words, you listen to them, the emotion takes over, to be honest.
It's not just another day, it's not just another game, it's a final. It's about performing well, but it's also soaking up everything, soaking up the fans and the atmosphere and the fact that you're at Wembley Stadium, which is the iconic stadium in the history of sport. So no pressure.
Yeah. I know I'll be nervous, and I'm going to do my best to try and contain that.
Yeah.
But just to believe in what I'm doing.
Too old for this, man.
I know.
And so Phyllis will be part of the choir then that will sing Abide With Me before our Cup final coverage on Saturday, the 27th of August. Speaking of the final, obviously if you win man of the match in the final, you win the Lance Todd Trophy, and we're going to talk to a couple of them now.
Yes, with a couple of absolute legends. Well, maybe one and a half, sorry Lee. Lee Breers and Neil Fox, the great man. Lee, first of all, you've just been in the dressing room here as your players come out. What was the mood? Very positive, I'd imagine.
Yeah, it's got to be upbeat, you know. A great 40 minutes from the boys. You know, we're hopefully not going to change too much, and we just got to keep working out. But you know, Wakefield are going to come back at us. They're going to have a spell, and we need to weather that storm and then kick on.
Neil, a little more painful as a Wakefield boy to watch that.
It is. Apart from the first 5 minutes, we've never been in the game. Warrington has been too fast and too strong for us. And then when we're nearly back in the game, we break through with a two-man overlap on one side, one inside, and the dummies. You can't do me in games like this. You've got to take your chances and get the points on the board.
How fit are you? I just wonder whether we could register you for the second half.
No, I'll be all right as a coach, but not as a player.
Great seeing you here. Lee, we better let you get back to work as well.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, George. What did Wakefield do then?
You have to take a leap out of Warrington's foot. You have to go out, run hard, complete high and kick well and be ruthless. I think Warrington have been outstanding in that first 5 minutes. As good as I've seen them play, they can turn it round by doing that and play that attacking brand of football that they do. Relax a little bit.
There's no messing about. They're already back out of Warrington. Still got a couple of minutes on half-time.
I think that's the element of Tony Smith has very little to say because they're playing so well. Get them out there, get them ready, get them warmed up, get them ready to go. I think the challenge, as you quite rightly say, Mark, is for Wakefield. They've got to stand up to the plate, and I will agree with Jamie on one point. When they're in the right parts of the field, they're a clever team. They'll score points. We've seen that this year. When Chris Chess has gone in, it's opened up their attacking prowess. What they're struggling with is probably what they've struggled with over a period of time when they've had their injuries as well, is not being able to bend their backs well enough against this very physical and strong Warrington side.
And if, as you say, Dennis, when you talked about Sandow's kicking in the first half, if he kicks like that again in the second half, they're not going to be able to get out, are they?
I think Warrington have turned up here with a purpose. They've applied that. They're out early now. They didn't say anything before the game started when we spoke about the sun. They know their jobs. They've gone at half time. It's a job well done. Let's do it again. I think we'll see the same from Warrington again. It's going to be really tough for Wakefield to get a foothold in this game. They're going to have to throw caution to the wind. I know what Jamie was saying about complete high, do the little things well. That ain't going to get them 24 points. They're going to have to throw caution to the wind. They're going to have to try and play, and that's going to be uncomfortable for them. And that's going to open the way for Warrington to score more points. But that's the kind of game Wakefield have got to play now.
OK, we're just moments away from the second half after a first 40 where Warrington looked in control.
Boy, has this game got a lot to live up to after last night's semi-final. The opening try, and Wakefield have the dream start. So Jack Hughes gets his side's first try. And Darryl Clark sashaying a little too easily. Warrington taking this cup tie by the scruff of the neck.
Wakefield are back out. They have it all to do in this second half if they are going to meet Hull in the Challenge Cup final at the end of August. Back to John Wilkin, John Keir and Dave Woods.
Well, John Keir, first of all, not a lot of optimism coming from the panel at half-time. If you're a Wakefield fan, you're going to be head of rugby at Wakefield Trinity next year. What optimism can you inject here into your future side's hopes?
Well, what they've got to do is they've got to get out there and they've got to start getting some possession and making good use of that possession. And they've certainly got to toughen up in that middle channel and attempt legally through good contact and good collision to slow this Warrington onslaught down around the ruck area.
Well, the writing's on the wall, though, isn't it, from a realistic point of view?
Yes. As a cynical northern man, yeah, I can't see a way back for Wakefield here, but stranger things have happened, and they need to do some of the things Jamie Peacock alluded to, is, you know, play with a bit of vigour, enjoyment. One of those things now in sport where there's nothing to lose for them, which is quite a dangerous thing as well, but Warrington have been exceptional in that first half, and I'm sure we'll be energised coming into the start of this second half too.
Yeah, I think we can look negatively at Wakefield, but I think you've got to look very positively at Warrington's contribution to this semi-final. They've been absolutely outstanding.
This is a problem for Fifita here. Yeah, not for nothing, a Warrington you know, in line for a potential treble, and Hull in line for a potential treble. They're a good team.
They're a fantastic team. They score more points than anybody else. They're, you know, a huge attacking threat when they've got the ball. Off the back of that, they're not too shabby defensively. Fita looks as though he's twisted under contact and picked up an injury. But Warrington are the real deal, aren't they?
Yeah, and they've got the ball back again.
And that's the last thing.
The ball back again.
That's the last thing Wakefield needed.
Ryan Bailey rolling away, and here comes Curry down the middle. So 5 tackles to have a real go at this Wakefield line right at the start of the second half. Hughes bouncing forward again, proving a real handful again. Clark moves into dummy half. Gidley. Westwood on his inside, and now Westerman throws it, and Curry gets it wider still. Atkins delivers it to his winger and says, you go and score a try, son, and Matty Russell might just have done that. But the referee wants a second look. No try on the field. There looked to be an element of the ball coming free. We're checking the grounding here now with Phil Bentham, our video referee.
Grounding check again, please. Warrington plays in possession, tackle comes in, he reaches out to try and score, and he's dropped the ball. Can confirm the decision of the referee, which is no try, and it'll be a 20-metre restart.
So one of the easier ones, drop ball, no try, and well, there's some relief from Wakefield, because I think if they conceded there, it would have been game over.
But that's better desperation as well, in all honesty, because they got numbers over there and they found a way of preventing that time. Sometimes that's why you can't be technically brilliant all the time. Sometimes you've got to find a way to dislodge the ball, get your body underneath the ball or whatever, and they managed to do that time.
Rugby league's a simple game. We overcomplicate it. Effort and will and want, those things that just wanting to get involved and help your teammates out are sometimes the most important things.
Liam Finn is stopped on the halfway line, so what has been said in the dressing rooms at half-time, George?
Very straightforward, Dave, from Tony Smith. More of the same. Just continue, he says, with our ruthless attacking play. Be entirely professional for the entire 40. He says they are bound to come back. For Wakefield, well, Chris Chester had to be a bit more Churchillian. He says we had to believe in ourselves. There is time, but we need our fair share of possession. It deserted us after that great start. Let's build some pressure in their half. He says, I feel the lads can then make a great comeback.
Well, there's a knock on. Wakefield fans are celebrating in hope rather than expectation.
It's a poor kick from Liam Finn. That's a poor kick. He had time, a bit of opportunity to put that ball sort of 2 or 3 metres out from the Warrington line. It lands 13, 14 metres out, and the difference is the result what you see there. Gives Matty Russell, the Warrington players, a chance. And really, there's no threat of a try being scored from that position. So poor kick from Finn, who's actually short kicking game is exceptional.
Here comes Evans. Churchillian. Wasn't he involved in the planning for Gallipoli as well? It didn't always go right, did it? So see if Warrington can get themselves downfield here with Clark out of dummy half. Runs into his opposite number Moore.
Same recipe though, isn't it? Dummy half run, speed of run.
It's hard to stop. So hard to stop.
Hold the line, come on, Danny.
Westerman and now Bailey.
Oh, Danny, release!
Reinventing his career, Ryan Bailey, after a couple of years out in the wilderness a little. Now it goes left, and Curry's running hard and gets that ball away. Okay. Clark has a good look at what's ahead of him and decides to take them on himself.
5, Dave, clear the ruck. Back Jacob, 10 metres.
35 away. Sandow launching it high. Ben Jones-Bishop underneath it, kept his eye on the ball, complete concentration. And a simple catch in the end.
Yeah, but again, there's a turnover. If you brought the ball from 10 metres from your own line, and the first tackle of the opposition set is 3 or 4 metres from their line, you'd be pretty happy with that.
They make metres so easily. They've got big, powerful guys. They play with a bit of deception. They move the ball as well. And once they get that quick ruck, they run and they break you through the middle. It's quite a complete attacking threat that Warrington showed today. And it's punishing this Wakefield team who look flat, devoid of shape, and they're going to need something special from the halfbacks or somebody to unlock this defence.
Here comes Kerman, who's Playing the brave role at the moment, but it was a 6th tackle. Run from dummy half on the 6th tackle.
Yeah, that's the element of composure, isn't it?
Keep working, come on.
It's when you're trying really hard as an individual, but unfortunately this is a team game, and you've got to. The effort's got to be a combined effort.
King shaking himself free. Matty Russell.
Great ball carrier, Matty Russell. Really quick on his feet, strong through the hips, finds his front and usually plays the ball quickly. He's one of those guys highlighted by the panel at half-time who gets this team moving forward and really informed for this Warrington side.
He'll be playing for Scotland as well in the Four Nations later this year, which you can see all the games, the big games on the BBC as well in November. He's with Steve McCormack's Scotland squad. Russell, born in Ayrshire. Here comes Westerman. Sandow goes left again, and Atkins steps back inside and keeps it alive, and Sandow dodges, darts, weaves, over he goes. There's our little man of magic. There he goes. Up go the celebrations. Chrissy Sandow got a try scorer, and Warrington are easing their way now.
Yeah, well, John Wilkin pointed out in the first half the variety of ways Warrington are finding to score tries. Well, there's another one now. It's not the right side attack this time, it's the left-hand side attack, but it also comes from a shift play and then a tremendous offload from Ryan Atkins, and then a bit of will-o'-the-wisp work from that guy there, Sandow. You see the ball there, they're played in the right-hand side of the field. Lovely shift, very, very efficient in all that they do. But then this is the money ball, stands in the tackle, one-handed offload, and then it's magical footwork to cross down the left-hand side. Tremendous try.
Yeah, great piece of play from Atkins here. Catches the ball, checks inside, uses strength. Great offload here. Sandow does all the lying you can do in the world with your body. Eyes, legs, teeth, feet, hands, everything was pointing one way. But most importantly, the ball went back the other. His teeth, yes, I did say his teeth were pointing in that direction.
John Keir's done some lying with his body over the years as well. Not necessarily on a rugby league field. And when Chris Sandow's in the mood, you sometimes feel that Wile E. Coyote's got more chance of catching Roadrunner than opposition defences have of catching him.
He's had a really solid game.
Gidley looking to take Warrington to 30 points. No, he's put it wide, so 28 points to 6. Warrington leading here. Firmly in the driving seat, on their way to Wembley. Wakefield have to do something desperately remarkable and impressive now to stop them.
Well, I think this now is a test for Wakefield, but again, we just see this. And it's Ryan Atkins who's a strong athlete. And that's a marvellous piece of skill as well there to offload. And great try.
And Sandow's one of those players renowned for his flair, almost touch rugby ability, but he's had a really solid game, as in his controlled play, kicked the ball into touch when he's needed to, tidy passing game, and then he's come up with a try. Solid performances from both the Warrington halfbacks, been really in control.
Yeah, they've been tremendous, and for Wakefield now, they have to forget, I think, about this occasion. They've now to start putting a good 20-30 minutes in of rugby league in order to build for the Super 8s.
And by the way, Brad Dwyer's on the field now at dummy half, so suddenly the electrifying nature of their dummy half runs take another dynamic on. Atkins with a great ball away. Here comes Russell, support on the inside. Ratchford's going to score. Warrington are running away with it. Warrington are running away with it. And in honour of one of the great commentaries from 50 years ago, they think it's all over. I think it is now. Ratchford, the try scorer. Warrington 32 points to 6, and there's still a kick to come.
There was a wave of blue shirts flooding through the middle of the field. The thing with this Warrington team is they sense opportunities. They've got that many dangerous runners of the ball that as a team they're in tune with each other to flatten up and to support breaks like this, and there's no better at that than Ratchford, and it came through some shape through the middle of the field here. Ratchford runs from dummy half. Great ball out to Atkins, one-handed offload to Russell, and you just know that there's Warrington players flooding up the inside. Ratchford, who started it, finishes it in the corner.
Yeah, and once again, John, there's a man down by the side of the ruck. So there's one marker down, the line's not set, and they're just taking space and playing what they see. It really is a phenomenal attacking display by this Warrington Wolves side.
And it's that dangerous combination of having players who can get you on the front foot, play the ball quickly, create some speed, and then players who can take advantage of it. So Warrington have got both sides covered. They've got the likes of Curry, Hughes, Hill, Atkins, who get them going on the front foot, and then off the back of it we've got Ratchford, you know, all of these instinctive players, Sandow, Darryl Clark, who take advantage of it, and it's a really, really dangerous combination.
Gidley looking to add a few more thrills to the thrills that Warrington have been providing. Has kicked it, it's got it over. 34 points to 6.
Tony Smith wanted some of the same, and so do these guys. They're absolutely loving it. They're already starting to sing Wembley, Wembley. I think they know where they're going.
One of the most ill-advised attempts at singing I think we've heard. 34 points to 6 anyway. And what of Wakefield now, John? Because there is a danger here of this really, I mean, what has been an excellent season for them so far. You know, real excitement building up to this semi-final, but there's a real danger of them walking out with red faces here, isn't there, if they're not careful?
There is, obviously, and what they have to do, as we said earlier, they have to build for this upcoming Super 8s. They really have. They need a bit of confidence rebuilding in this last quarter of the game. And forget the scoreboard, look at the processes of rugby league.
Well, in the absence of this having the intensity of last night's semi-final, I think you can just sit back and relax and enjoy the way Warrington are playing rugby league here today. Taking Wakefield apart at the moment, and if there is to be a fight back, then boy, do we have a story. And we'll come to that later, but there, well, there's only one way to stop him sometimes, and that might be illegally. Sandow put down by the heavy arm of Fafita.
That heavy is the operative word here. Sandow, as he's done all day, really tested the Wakefield defence, came off his outside foot, and it looked dangerous. It looked very dangerous for the Wakefield defence, and sometimes when an attacking player who's that good on his feet comes that hard off his outside foot, players like Fafita aren't able to deal with that agility. And
no, it's a clumsy effort, isn't it? It's obviously a hard tackle, but I'll tell you what, I'm really impressed with Sandow's reaction to this. He hasn't milked at anything like that. He got straight back to his feet, and I think he signalled that he's okay, which is good on the guy.
Yeah, the game's going well. He's playing fantastically well. He wants to get on with things, doesn't he? Without doubt.
Here we go. I think he was sin bin in his very first game, wasn't he, David Fafita, when he
we've got
arrived
contact with the edge. I think it's
here we go.
10 minutes.
10 minutes. Just a yellow card. Might have been worse.
Ryan. Well, we've got it sorted. We don't need you running. Once you're in, everybody else comes in. Just think about what we're doing, all right?
Is it obligatory when anything breaks out on the field and Ryan Bailey's on there that he gets called forward as well? Yeah, just to warn him.
High tackle.
So 10 minutes on the sidelines for David Fafita. I think it's becoming a losing cause now for Chris Chester. And he's up and running again. Bailey. Still half an hour to go. Bailey's furious, felt he should have had a penalty. Denny Westwood chewing up the yards down the middle.
Isn't it funny how a bit of biff, a bit of aggression invigorates the defence?
Out from dummy half goes Dwyer. Hughes again, trying to shake them off. Wakefield hanging on for pride at the moment. Dwyer. Gidley into the heart of it. Bailey carries it on. Wakefield's defence is decent at the moment, but Warrington keep asking these questions. Sandow with a kick, but it's watched out of play by Ben Jones-Bishop. It's a tap back on the 20, and here's George with some news on the sidelines.
David Fafita absolutely fuming. He walked off. He couldn't believe that decision. Anyone who would listen, the water carrier, the physio, his teammates, Danny Kerman sat behind him here on the bench. He has the look of a man who has just had his wallet nicked. He's looking round angry, saying, what on earth just happened to me?
It's a big hit by Atkins, and he follows it up with another stern effort as well.
There's a bit of intensity in the last two sets of defence, I'll tell you.
Miller.
4, stay clear, Rook.
Moore. Going to that right-hand side again and trying to get things going for Andy Yates. He'll get a penalty. Wakefield fans celebrate that. Miller wants to take it quickly. The referee won't allow it.
And there's a bit of a recipe for Wakefield. With Miller, quick ruck. Yates, quick ruck. Scott Moore, run. Penalty. Great play by Wakefield. And you felt like that was the way for them to get into the game. A high tackle there from Westerman on Yates with a strong carry. It felt like the blueprint's there, but like I said, it's difficult to execute against a side like Warrington, who are as on the game as they are today.
Warrington, for the moment, are backing back onto their own line to defend here as Yates brings it forward again. Moore has a look right and left. The sun's coming out at Lee as Moore goes for the line, but he's going to be held up. There's just so many Warrington bodies there.
Scott on the 10.
So back they go, played again, 10 metres out.
Time on. Tackle through.
Here's Finn, switching play back to Miller.
4, move Jack. Come on, back, Brad, back.
Scotty Moore's only scored one Wakefield try. That was the £1 million game winner against Bradford last year. Here he comes, scooping it out on the 6th tackle. Quick hands, intercepted! Matty Russell's away! They're all chasing him. Russell changing direction, has support there as well, but he's reeled in by Ben Jones-Bishop. Did a terrific job, but it's not finished yet, the job, because Curry on the back of Sandow's pass will romp in on that left-hand corner in the blink of an eye. Warrington have covered 90 metres and scored yet another. Wow! They're enjoying it, those in primrose and blue. The sun is shining on them at the moment.
Well, how many ways can you find of scoring a try? They found another one of this gifted group of individuals, this gifted team, the Warrington Wolves. Wakefield, who we felt were having a good period there. The ball's moved wide. Russell's up there taking space, picks a pocket there. And then it's great work by Ben Jones-Bishop, who's just working to get back there, chase him down. But there's just too many Warrington players, and that's a big effort, isn't it, from the second rower to come all the way from back there, Curry, and ends up on the receiving end of the try.
And that's why he's got 55 career tries, Ben Curry. As a back rower in 100-odd games to score 55 tries, it's a huge effort. And really has no chance, really no shout for being in this play, but recognises behind Sandow, sees an opportunity. He's got the speed of a centre or an outside back, smarts of a half-back, strength of a forward. You know, there's a lot of things going for Ben Curry, and as Dave alluded to at the start of the game, he's not that promising youngster anymore. He's delivering, isn't he? And him and Jack Hughes, I think, have both been exceptional today, and a great try, but set up by that Matty Russell break, an instinctive bit of wing play.
Well, Chris Chester's Hulkingston Rovers embarrassed Warrington last year, but Chris Chester's Wakefield are not going to do the same this year. Gidley puts it over, 40 points to 6. We've seen some semi-final blowouts down the years. It's a long way to go before it matches any of those. Wigan against London here at this very ground a couple of years ago, and Wigan against Bradford, of course, and a famous one back in the 90s. I don't think it's going to go to those proportions, but this is as solid, complete, efficient, exuberant a performance that we've seen for some time from a semi-final team.
And exciting, Dave. Yeah. There's been some really good tries scored by the Warrington Wolves, and that's probably one of the few mistakes that the Wolves have made there.
As it comes from a kick-off, it's head and feet to Wakefield.
Jack Hughes came in for the short kick-off. He was trying to help the guys on the front line, but actually left his post and exposed the sideline, which was picked off by Wakefield, and they get the ball, and you can't feel that at 40 points to 6 now, as a player in this situation, I've been in this situation, it's It's really look at each other in the eyes and what can we do to stop this? It needs to be stopped, and you're looking for somebody to inspire that change, and you can't see where that's going to come from right now.
Well, I tell you, the number of Hull fans who were at Doncaster last night, and the number of Warrington fans here who have just been stood up and clapping and singing in August for a terrific Wembley final on August 27th. I think it's going to be a big, big crowd at Wembley. It'll be the first Wembley meeting between Warrington and Hull.
Chris! Come on, we've got to get composed of him. The penalty's against you for lying on. Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. Penalty's against you for lying on. Get a bit of composure. Get out of here. Come on, think about what we're doing. Liam, same applies to you.
Liam Finn and Chris. I think Chris is a part-time plumber in his spare time, isn't he? And Liam Finn gave up a job as an electrician to be a full-time rugby league player. They'd be a handy pair to have around the house, wouldn't they?
They have to go into business together. Yeah.
If you could get them to get on a bit. Wakefield. Oh, it's one of those lost cause kicks from Miller. Ratchford comes up with it again. And Warrington start 15 yards out, but who knows where this set will finish. Look at that, by the way. 70% second half possession. 71% territory.
It mirrors the first half, doesn't it? You know, those stats were the same in the first half. And, you know, I'm not a big one for stats, 1,000 metres to 500, but they do paint this picture of what's happened in this game. You can't get away from it. Dummy half runs, speed of game, territory and possession. You know, we look at the dummy half runs, 26 to 14. Warrington are renowned for that, and it's killed this Wakefield side.
And again, this is a set that started on their own line, might be finishing glory on the other line. It's not the 6th title, it's only the 5th title, but they're going for glory, and they've come up trumps, and Toby King will roll in to score yet another Warrington try. Finger pointing. Wow! How can you stop them when they're in this mood? Well, I think the clear answer today is that Wakefield are not going to stop them when they're in this mood.
Well, John, you told Chappers yesterday in the game afterwards he'd never see another rugby league try.
Well, yeah, I know, we've seen a lot of
He's seen a lot of unique tries today,
yeah, I did regret that after I'd said it.
Yeah, and this is another one as well, and Ryan Atkins toe pokes the ball through there, a bit of soccer skills there, and then Dwyer, just lovely weighted kick, and I think Arundel will be a little disappointed with his efforts there. It allowed Warrington to cross for the 4 points.
Wakefield are done here, you know, without doubt. That's just a common sense thing to say, but done not in terms of the game. I'm talking in terms of their attitude, in terms of their willingness to compete, wanting to be here. Look, that's a broken group of players right there. Who've really, when Warrington have wanted to be intense and step the game up to a different level, that Wakefield group of players haven't been able to compete at that high intensity we saw yesterday. When the game's got to that level, they haven't competed, JK, have they?
No, mentally and physically they do. They look a broken group at the minute, and it'll be a task to rebuild them for next week's game in the Super 8.
Who have they got next week? Can you remember? Wigan, I think it's Wigan, isn't it? Wigan. Well, that's just brushes the upright. Gidley puts it over 46-6. It's the 2 beaten semi-finalists at the DW Stadium at the start of the Super 8s next week.
Yeah.
On Friday night, Wigan against Wakefield.
And now we've got unique ways of kicking goals, John. Just pushing off the inside of the post.
We're breaking new ground every minute here.
Gidley's gone off, by the way.
They'll wrap him in cotton wool, bool him into the dressing sheds, and you won't see him again. He's that important to this side. They don't want to risk anything, any sort of injury, picking up a little niggle, and 22 minutes to go. And it's a nice situation to be in where you're taking your key playmaker off the field to rest him up.
2, move, Scott! Hold, wait, go.
70-0 here, Wigan against London, 71-10 if memory serves. Wigan against Bradford at the old Burnden Park. I think we'll ask Brian Noble to ratify that afterwards, because I think he was involved in some way in that game. Here's Ratchford. Dwyer, Westwood.
There's a man left on the ground virtually every play of the ball, isn't there? And, they're already a man down anyway, Wakefield, so it's just becoming impossible to defend.
Ratchford's kick to that in-goal area, which just is played out by Jowett. He put his foot out of play and took the ball, so that means that it's gone dead. Back on the 20.
Ashton, move!
20 minutes still to go here, but we've got the Rugby League Forum coming up after we finish with the game, after we finish with our coverage live on BBC One. And you can get in touch with us, #BBCRL. And a reminder that it's on the website, that forum. And the Challenge Cup, BBC One, 2 p.m, 27th of August. All the razzle-dazzle, the abide with me beforehand with all those supporters from the different clubs taking part. And then, well, I think we can say with some assurity, Hull against Warrington with the main event. And is that going to be some game? Miller's pass sums up Wakefield's afternoon. Full of good intent, but not well executed.
Frustrated. He's had a great year as Jacob Miller. You know, he's really come on, developed as a young half-back. He's matured. But, you know, with 20 minutes to go in the game, you can't blame him for trying something. Tries to throw the long one to Craig Hall. It was never on. You know, the touch judge nearly caught it, but I can understand the frustration from the Wakefield team now, and the game's gone. And you're talking about Wembley and all those abide with me and those emotions. There's no place better than walking out of that tunnel at Wembley Stadium, and for the players who get to do it, Warrington and Hull, it's just an amazing thing to be part of the history of this game, isn't it?
It certainly is, but also, John, as well, looking at the two teams there, it'll be interesting to see how Wakefield respond, because losing in the semi-final is heartbreaking. Losing in this manner could really take it out of you mentally.
And they haven't been in great form in Super League, Wakefield. You know, we came into this game full of hope that they might perform, but the reality is they'd lost 3 out of 4 in Super League. They were hoping for this game to maybe turn that form, and it certainly hasn't for them. And again, credit to Warrington for how they've dismantled this Wakefield team with the ball.
There's Sims, Ratchford. They're just enjoying themselves now, Warrington, aren't they? They're looking for a bit of individual glory and further team glory here in what, the 18 minutes that still remain. And the ball goes to ground. Hughes picks up, rushed at quickly.
Well, as a player, you very rarely get to play 18 minutes or so out on a stage like this in front of a crowd like this, knowing full well that you've got the job done.
Well, again, a knock-on by Hall.
First one. 2 knock-ons.
2 knock-ons in the end.
First one.
Yeah, it's a privileged position, that, to be relaxed with 20 minutes to go, 80 minutes to go in a Challenge Cup semi-final. Jim Peacock and myself had a chat before the game, and we were saying, you know, that feeling in a game when you know it's done is bliss. The teams last night were not privileged with having that feeling, but there's one of the teams today certainly got that.
You had that feeling in '98, John, Sheffield, towards the end. There was a spell in that game when you realised the job was done before.
Oh, in the final, yes. Yeah. Not in the semi-final.
No, the semi-final was terrific. Salford, wasn't it, at Headingley?
It was, yes. 8 points down with about 8 minutes left. Not that I remember, Dave.
You've not lived through it in your nightmares every night. Here comes Sims. Ashton Sims put down 5 metres away. And it's Brad Dwyer at dummy half, goes back again to Westerman, and Chris Hill will try to push his way over, but he can't.
Off his foot.
Half a century looms for Warrington. Dwyer and Benny Westwood, as he has done so many times in his 383 Warrington appearances, finds a way to get away to score a try. His 124th Warrington try. It's the icing on the cake of this semi-final, and Warrington are up to a half century.
Soft tried to concede there. Westwood, big strong ball carrier, has been doing this kind of play for years, and he was too good for Scott Moore and his teammates. Dwyer came in at dummy half, strong line. Jowett tried his best. Yates tried to join in, but Westwood was too strong, and to bring up the 50 points, there's probably no softer way to do it. Walton missed him first up. Jowett tried to stop him. Yates couldn't do much about it. And Ben Westwood plonks the ball down with his arm pad.
Oh,
There's question marks where
yeah.
the grounding now is suspect, but Ben's got 2 thumbs up and waving because he knows
he might have got away
the
with
try's
that.
been given.
Yes. Ironic as well that Ben's brought the that score up 50 up against the team where his career started all those years ago.
1999, I think he made his debut for Wakefield, 3 years there, and then, I mean, he's been at Warrington for a lifetime, hasn't he? It seems. Ratchford taking over the kicking in the absence of Gidley, and it's 52 points to 6. But Warrington now lead this cup tie. There was a slight leakage of Wakefield fans when that try was scored, 1 or 2 heading away, but full marks to the vast majority of them. They're staying.
Yeah, you've got to put things in perspective for them, haven't they? They have to remember 12 months ago, and they're in a much better position as a club and as a playing group than they were there. This has been an immensely disappointing afternoon for them, but they've got to learn from it and kick on from this, and that especially applies to such as the youngster at fullback Max Jowett. He's a very young man, he's got great potential, but he's got to learn from this. He's got to make sure that he doesn't experience this type of feeling again.
You're just taking it all in at that age, aren't you? Absorbing, learning, understanding what worked and what didn't. I will say the Wakefield fans have been fantastic, haven't they? Turned up in the numbers, really supported this Wakefield side who have not realistically been in the game.
Keep it coming, Nick, come on, you've got to get the 10s. 4, move! Back with me.
It's just been pointed out to me, 9 tries, 9 different scorers here today. And there's another very efficient kick. That means Wakefield are on the back foot again. Dwyer, the young man who looked to be on the outer at Warrington a couple of years ago, was sent down to London on loan, wasn't he? And came back as an emergency when Mickey Hyam left this club and went to Lee, and was an absolute revelation.
Yeah, they've got the ideal couple of hookers, haven't they, for how Warrington play the game, in that Darrell Clark is like lightning out of dummy half, and when young Dwyer comes on there, it's as if the game's speeded up, isn't it? It's always goes in fast forward.
The key for Hull in the final is going to be slowing this Warrington team down. He's going to be stopping the forward roll and momentum that they get up the field, and once you stop that, I think Clark and Co and Russell and Co less effective. That being said, it's been an accomplished attacking performance this from Warrington, and they've looked threatening in more areas than just the middle of the field running out of dummy half, haven't they? And 9 try scorers spread across the park.
2, move!
Great performance from them. I'm sure Tony Smith will be overwhelmed and pleased by the way they've attacked.
Wembley, the new Wembley. Here's Miller with a little kick through. That's not a bad one. And Hall is a man who picks it up and collects and looks inside and sees that there's support there. Miller couldn't get there, but it's going to be Max Jowett, the fullback, who rolls over and plonks it down. And the Wakefield fans greet that moment as if they just won the semi-final. Well, they might even be denied
Can we check the
that
offside
celebration.
and the grounding, please?
So we're looking at offside and the grounding. Let's hear from Phil Bentham in the video ref's booth again.
So tries from a kick. We need to just check if the winger is onside for Jacob Miller's kick. So if you can pause it on the foot, he's fine, he's behind. Play on. The next check now is the grounding. Yep, that's it. His momentum continues. It's pure momentum. That's a try. We just need to see that in normal speed, please, just to show and demonstrate the fact that he's just rolled through the tackle. That's it. No problem, that's a try.
Well, it's not often you score a try this late in a semi-final of a Ladbrokes Challenge Cup, and it's barely worth celebrating. Well, that's just the fate that's befallen Max Jowett, but his Wakefield fans are giving it plenty of noise, despite the scoreline reading 52-10.
He's got something about him as Max Jowett. I like all the things that he does on the rugby field. For a young guy, there's certainly something to work with there, isn't there?
There's Jowett and there's Johnson on the wing, who unfortunately for Wakefield's missing.
He's a big miss, isn't he?
He is a big miss, he's a real threat. There's a nice bit of ingenuity there as well from Jacob Miller, and well finished, and nice for Jowett that, a young man so young to score in a semi-final, but it's the feelings of his experience prior to that he needs to take away from this event today and make sure it makes him stronger for the rest of his career.
Liam Finn, Irish international record points scorer, lands his second success of the day, 52 points to 12.
Yeah, this is the ingenuity. He just reads that, does Miller. That's great. He's read that the winger's up. He just dabs the ball behind, all picks up. Not the best pass, but a fortunate bounce there, and there's a fair bit of determination there from the youngster to get that ball over the whitewash and ground it.
Good strength, great finish.
Cameron Ryan. Stay behind.
Still 11 minutes left. Only 40 points to make up. 7 tries, that should do it.
First George, move!
No takers on that.
Hold.
No takers. Finn. Here's Lynn. Reese Lynn. Looking back towards the middle of the field, but not finding any purchase there. Warrington looking to keep their foot on the throttle here if they can.
3, Ryan movement! Wait. Go.
He's back. Fafita.
4, Ben, hands out! Held!
Spilling the sin bin. Miller.
5, clear the ruck. Back here, Brad.
So here comes the last tackle in the set. Finn looking for something creative. It's not bad. Jones Bishop will carry on the kicking duties, and still kicking, but Curry drops on it. Warrington have it back. And start from here.
Move! Wait! Go.
Evans.
2,
His brother Ben Evans currently out injured with an injury picked up back in March. Out for the season, but there are 2 brothers in this squad today, of course, Toby King and George King.
Hold David, where's the foot? Go.
Hoping to have double family representation in that Wembley final.
4, Mikey movement! Hold Nick, wait for it. Go.
Dwyer belting it downfield. Ten minutes to go.
First, release Ryan. Hold, let George, wait. Go.
Miller again. There's Jason Walton.
Tony Smith will be looking for a tidy finish from his side now.
2,
Defensively,
come on, Brad.
take some good habits into the following weeks in Super League. And, you know, defensively they've been as impressive as they have with the ball, haven't they? That's certainly something. After a poor start, I thought they were soft right at the beginning of the game, but certainly grown.
120 tries in Super League this year, more than anyone else. Warrington only conceded 425 points. No side has conceded fewer. They're romping their way to Wembley. 8 times winners. They had a big strong hold on this famous old trophy just 4, 5, 6 years ago. 2009, 2010, 2012 they were winners. Are they going to do it again? Will Hull become the stuff of legend for their club, win at Wembley for the first time? That's all to come. Wakefield is still looking for something here. And Dwyer is unexpectedly able to pick it up from the roll from the run.
Yeah, you sense that there's 2 teams here who'll be quite happy for the hooter to go on, don't you, really? It's Wakefield. No, it's impossible. Wanting to know the job's done.
Wait, Andy, wait.
Somebody came up with a theory a few years ago that in a game like this there should be a joker available. If both sides agree, you play your joker in the Hooters sevens.
I don't think if you paid 20 quid you'd be very happy with that now.
Both sides have to agree.
Fourth release! Oh, Liam, wait for it, wait. Go.
The Wakefield fans are slowly disappearing.
Play on.
Ratchford's knocked on.
Well, what can you do in this situation as a Wakefield team? You know, you've got to boil it right back to the real basics of the game. You've got to question yourselves, is the effort there, is commitment to each other there? And if that's present, you've got something to work on, haven't you? If those things aren't there, it's a difficult dressing room to walk into.
It certainly is. Look at the crowd there, though.
These are Wakefield fans, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely first class.
Yeah, brilliant support.
Let's pack down.
Wakefield Trinity Wildcats, they've been known for a few years now, and I know the chairman, Michael Carter's talking about just dropping the Wildcats a little bit, going back to tradition, playing on the fact that they have the likes of Neil Fox as part of their history. We talked about his record points. There is a real good rugby league pedigree. There he is, Neil Fox. Real Michael Carter just in front of him. And here comes an attempted try. Hall with a kick downfield, and he's going to chase it out. And Hall going for the line, reaches over. Has he got there? Has he got there? He's not sure.
We're going to get him off the field.
Well, he deserves that for the skill with his grip, doesn't he?
Is he going to give this? No, he's asking a question.
Got no try?
No try.
Let's check for a double movement.
Double movement is what they're looking at. Phil Bentham, it's over to you.
So we'll check the kick first. I'm pretty sure he collected his own kick, but...
Yeah, he did.
Yes, there is a kick, yeah. Pretty sure he collects his own kick, but we'll just check it. Yeah, there's no problem with that. Everybody's behind him anyway. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, we need to see a little bit closer to the line, please. Okay, so he slides, ball carrying arms down. He's therefore tackled at that point, and he reaches out and puts the ball down. So it's a double movement. So if you saw it in full speed, we'd like to see these in full speed just to confirm that decision. Comes for a stop and then reaches out, and his ball carrying arm has hit the floor. There's no try, it's a penalty. No try, penalty.
Well, Wakefield fans thought they had consolation, and now they know they haven't. Double movement. So not only is it not a try, it's a penalty for Warrington, and Craig Hall thought he had the consolation of starting it all and finishing it all today, but he didn't quite finish it.
Great chase back from Jack Hughes there. He's played 80 minutes in the back row as Jack Hughes on this right-hand side for Warrington, and Craig Hall had all but scored that, chipped back inside, but the young back rower chased back, made a tackle that forced Hall into the double movement.
I'm with you, John. You know, the score's 52-12. The job today was to get to Wembley. It's achieved, but there's still that pride in personal performance to chase back and tackle. But I thought he'd scored a try there. I don't know about you, I thought that was a try.
Here's Bailey.
When you slow things down, it's difficult, isn't it? I think it's the devil's own job on the video replays to make sense of it at that speed. I'm all in favour of watching them back at game speed.
And we got that old bugbear as well. You know, the decision on the field is such a major influence on whether it's given or not, isn't it? So why not just give it? Why not just make the referee have that ability to give the try or otherwise?
Okay.
Knock on.
He's had a cracking game, hasn't he, Jack Hughes?
Fantastic.
Really has. I mean, I know there's an error there, but
he's been faultless apart from that. I think he's not only has he done the tough stuff well, you know, his defence has been really tidy. Fantastic wrestler, controls his rucks, but in attack he's come up with some real good qualities. Scored a try, created one, and you know he's the full package. Him and Ben Curry, you know, together as two back rowers are sensational.
And he's done his position, definitely back row, because there's been, I mean, we've seen him in the centre and he's been pretty effective in the centres as well, hasn't he?
I think that's his position, yes.
Back row.
Yeah, without doubt, yeah.
Here's Lynn. Ben Jones Bishop. So there's a little flash down that right-hand side, but dragged out of play.
Well, it's great to see, isn't it, Warrington? There's great positivity there, even, you know, at this stage of the game's won. They've got the bus booked for Wembley. Still out there and celebrating prevented tries.
So, man of the match, I think you two fellas had the job of choosing who it was. Who did you come up with?
Well, we've had a good discussion. And obviously, both half-backs were tremendous. Gidley and Sandow. They've had threat with Ratchford, with Russell, with Evans from dummy half. Clark and Dwyer's played the part. Benker has been fantastic. But John and I agree that Jack Hughes down this right-hand side is playing every minute of this game. He was instrumental in crucial plays when it was a nip-and-tuck game. And he's the Ladbrokes Challenge Cup man of the match for this semi-final.
Movement!
3.5 minutes to go. It's a cup tie that, in all probability, Warrington have had one since the first half. But, absolutely, definitely in this second half for a long, long time now.
Move! Yeah, Nick, hold the 10.
Clark's back on the field. Picks up from the feet of Dwyer and off he goes and rides the rough shot tackle, and here comes Bailey.
Movement!
So the final tackle in the set. Ratchford putting the kick in and gets the deflection and kicks it on again, Ratchford. And it's a sliding clearance from Max Jowett. Manchester United reserves teams playing here, I think, on Tuesday night. That was a bit of football work from both sides there.
Let's get him going, Mikey.
It just shows, though, they're still working at Warrington there. There's a ricochet, and there's still that hunger, that fire in the belly to try and post more points from Ratchford. Ricochets off, and all of a sudden he gets excited. Toe pokes it through, and there's the Rio Ferdinand to put it into the stands.
The Warrington team, as I mentioned earlier, they're expecting things to happen. They're on the front foot. Therefore, when things are happening, ricochets, balls are on the floor, they're reacting first. And just talking about Stefan Ratchford, he's one of those guys who's really come on, hasn't he? Wandered around positionally, but certainly, you know, with Gidley and Sandow taking off some of the pressure of kicking the ball and directing this team around, the likes of Ratchford and Clark have come into their own. And you know, I believe Gidley and Sandow do a lot of the things that maybe Ratchford and Clark don't want to do and bring the best out.
Here's King creating. That was an embarrassment for the Wakefield defence, really. But take nothing away from Toby King. You can only beat what's in front of you. It just so happened that what was in front of him melted away. But Toby King's second try, 56 points now to Warrington with a kick to come.
Yeah, Toby King's been, you know, when you look at a player, you look to see what assets he's got that'll add something to your team. Now King's playing out the back here. He's got a running game, showed the ball twice. I think Dave Woods nailed it. It's not...
I think melted was a pretty good description, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was no glory in the way that Wakefield defended this. I mean, fingertips rather than shoulders, feet nowhere near the point of contact, and King was the guy to take advantage of that. And a great young player, like I said, when you bring a player into your team, you look at the assets, what he might bring, and this kid seems to bring a lot of versatility to the side. He's a solid defender. Not just that, he can run the ball and he understands space clearly, because that was a fantastic try.
Here's Mark. Time off.
Stefan Ratchford. It's a season that started late for him. Had surgery on his knee, didn't he, in a closed season? So it was a while before he got up and running this year. But he's up and running now in no uncertain terms. He's pulled it wide. By the way, the kick he did put over was his 150th Warrington goal, so there was a little landmark he's reached today. 56 points to 12. And not long now before the hooter sounds, and that'll be blessed relief for the Wakefield players and the Wakefield fans.
Yeah, well, you know, it's a very dispirited team at the minute, trudging up to the halfway line. The Warrington fans absolutely in raptures at the outstanding performance that their team's put in. You've got to admire the Wakefield fans as well. The vast majority is still here, still supporting their team, and that's what you have to do, to support your team through the good times and through the not so good times. And generally this season, it's been good times.
Ryan Bailey takes it out of play. Well, in fact, he just takes it through to the final hooter. It has been a hat-trick of heartbreak for Warrington. 3 successive cup semi-final defeats. But now the Primrose and Blue is back on Wembley Way. Hull against Warrington on August the 27th promises to be a very special occasion. And we have seen a very special performance today here by Warrington, winning it at a canter. Last night by Hull, in that wholehearted atmosphere at Doncaster when they downed Wigan. And it all leads to Wembley in just over a month's time, and we cannot wait. Don't forget the forum is coming up once we're off air. Have a look on the BBC website for that. You can have a listen and join in through social media, hashtag BBCRL. But right now, let's hear from the winning coach, Tony Smith.
Tony, many congratulations. How good a feeling, sir?
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's been a while. It's been a while for our club to get to one of the big finals. So it's nice. It's a nice feeling. And you know, the game was pretty one-sided today. I thought, whilst Wakefield didn't give in and didn't throw the towel in at all, my team did a pretty good job right from the outset. I thought. Although Wakefield scored that early try.
You had a quick chat just now with your opposite number, Chris Chester. What did you say to him?
It was just one of those days. It was our day, and I think everybody here and everybody who watched at home, I think the momentum of the game was pretty much one way. But he should be proud of their efforts and their efforts to get this far, and also wished him really, the best for the Super 8s. Now they've done a great job, Wakefield, from the start that they had at the start of the season. So, well done to them. But it's about my boys today, and playing out a game plan. They played it very, very well. We weren't flashy, but we did some, outstanding things today as well.
Great support, great noise. Go and enjoy it, Tony. Let's bring in the man of the match, Jack Hughes. Congratulations on the man of the match performance. You fell behind early and then you absolutely walloped them.
We did, yeah. What an outstanding effort. I can't explain the feeling. We did go behind early, but we didn't panic. We knew we just get back to doing what we do best, and the rewards would come from that.
At what point during that game did you feel, yeah, we've got him here?
I'd say about 20 minutes in. It was a bit on top. We had a fast ruck going and was rolling up the field, and they had a turnover on their own line, and you could tell we was winning the energy battle at that point, so I had a good feeling then.
Well, we've got some champagne for you somewhere, so many, many congratulations. Enjoy it.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Dennis Becks, Jamie Peacock, Brian Noble watched there alongside me. You could see in Tony Smith's face, and you could see in Warrington's performance, the determination to get to Wembley and put behind them 3 semi-final defeats.
Since Tony's been there, this has been getting to finals, winning big games has been part of his remit. They were so successful early on in his tenure. They got to another couple of finals and they fell short the last couple of years at the semis. Today's another big step. They've recruited really well in the off-season, and they've come in. The first big challenge was get to a Challenge Cup final, and they've taken that on. I think Tony summed it all up. Today they were fantastic. They were the best side. It was their day today.
I had a tweet from, who was it from? Gareth Freeman. I can't work out whether Wakefield have been poor or Warrington have been great.
Warrington were great. They were outstanding. I think that's as good a semi-final performance as you'll see. Against a weaker opposition, they were ruthless. They were clinical and had more intent in everything they did physically within the game, and it allowed them to play with flair at the back half of the second half.
And as we see Warrington and their fans celebrate, we ought to have a word actually for the Wakefield fans who have seen their side get bullied, and in that second half they supported them and didn't stop singing for the second half.
Fabulous sentiments. They were absolutely brilliant right the way through, and they're still here trying to get their team's gone, and they're still focusing on.
It's what Yorkshire people do though, it's buy you for money. I'm having a day out, no matter what the result.
20 quid and we're off.
And what a final we have got to look forward to.
Can't wait. Two fantastic teams, two teams that can attack exceptionally and also can defend very well as well, and two teams will think they can go out there and win it.
I think it's been a final, and this is no disrespect to the last couple of finals, this is the final we've been waiting for a few years. We've got first and third at this moment in time going to Wembley. It's going to be a fantastic day out. Hopefully we're in for a classic game.
Well, Dennis and Jamie and Brian are going to stay with me. We're going to do a forum on the BBC Sport website or also via the BBC Sport app. So if you want to put them a question, hashtag BBCRL, and we'll also get more reaction from both camps. But as the guys have said, what a final we have to look forward to. Warrington against Hull on August the 27th. See you then.
Cycling tomorrow morning as 26,000 amateurs take part in a 100-mile road race. Ride London Surrey starts from the Olympic Park. Live coverage from 10 over on BBC Two.
And across the BBC. In 1965, Rod Stewart had no idea what the future would hold. Over 50 years on, Imagine looks back at an extraordinary career. Imagine, Sir Roderick Stewart. Can't Stop Me Now. Tomorrow at 10:30 on BBC One.
First in the spotlight tonight is the actress Cheryl Ferguson. She's answering questions on Elton John. Next, the presenter Stacey Dooley on the American series Girls. The boxing promoter Kelly Maloney is answering questions on British heavyweight boxing. And Jane Hazelgrove from Casualty on the great Harper Lee. And welcome to Celebrity Mastermind with me, John Humphreys. 4 people who have made a success of their careers but probably haven't faced a challenge quite like this. There is no real equivalent of the Mastermind Black Chair. Their fee goes to charity and the winner takes away the trophy and, of course, the honour of becoming a mastermind. The rules are pretty much unchanged. 90 seconds on their specialist subject, 2 minutes on general knowledge await them. So let us ask our first contender to join us, please. And your name is?
Cheryl Ferguson.
Your chosen charity?
Eleanor.
and your chosen subject.
Elton John.
Elton John in 90 seconds. Elton John had been working in the music business for several years as a performer and composer before he had his first big hit with which single that reached the UK top 10 in 1971?
Crocodile Rock.
No, your song. What is the name of John's 1973 double album which contains the tracks Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting, Candle in the Wind and Benny and the Jets?
Goodbye Yellow Brick Road.
Yes. Which song won the 1994 Oscar for Best Original Song? It's the closing track on the soundtrack album for the film The Lion King.
Circle of Life.
Can You Feel the Love Tonight?
I knew that.
What part did John play in Ken Russell's film Tommy? He also had a top 10 hit single with a version of Pete Townshend's song of the same name.
Pinball Wizard.
Yep. In 1974 at Madison Square Garden, Elton John